Hi everybody. I hope you're doing well on this very wet evening. Although it's not raining right now, but it has been quite blustery and wet today. But hopefully you've had a happy Tuesday. You might want to grab a couple of bricks or blocks if you have them. They're not integral, so if you don't have anything or you don't want to use them, then don't worry about it. But if you do happen to have even just one, like a big book or a brick or like a thinner block or something, then it might aid you this evening. But as I said, it doesn't matter if you don't have it. I've got really sore quads and butt and glutes tonight. So actually, when I just came to kneel a moment ago, I was like, ugh. Hopefully you didn't see that on my face. Now it feels like that feels okay. It feels like quite a nice stretch and release. But yeah, you might have to bear with me a bit tonight because my lower body is really sore. We've got quite a few weights at home because my boyfriend's quite into like barbell weights, and I did some yesterday, and I haven't done it for a while, a couple of weeks. And I'm really sore, like super sore. But anyway, we'll get going. So hopefully you have had a lovely Tuesday. So tonight we are going to blossom into balance. So letting go of any attachment that we might have to the posture, the asana, the pose, and seeing if we can find stira and sukham. So the strength and the ease with how we hold our postures. So not worrying if we wobble or fall out of something, just coming back into it. And most importantly, finding what feels good in our bodies, in our minds, and in our practice. So we will be doing a few balances this evening, which is why I suggested you might want to grab a couple of blocks, but they're not integral. So let's get going. So we're going to start on our backs. So meet me on your back. And you might find it comfortable if you have a block to just place a block at the back of your head. So where this kind of sort of bony bit, the occiput, just at the back of your skull there. And that's an area where we tend to hold on to quite a lot of stress and tension. So sometimes it's quite nice to just place a block underneath your head, knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Or you can, of course, extend your legs out in front of you. Find a comfortable position for your hands and for your arms. And then let yourself land here. Let your eyes close. Allow a little gap to form at the back of the teeth. And then allow a little gap to form between your top lip and your bottom lip. And let's take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and 3 full sighs of the exhale through an open mouth. At the end of the third exhalation, let your mouth close, but maintain that slight gap at the back of the teeth as you continue to deepen every breath that enters in through your nose and lengthen every exhale that leaves your body back out through the nose. So tapping into the rolling wave of the inhale, that swell, that expansion, that space, and that gentle tug of the exhale, release, softening, and surrender. So let that breath roll in. Let that breath roll out. Let that breath fuel and energize, relax and release you this evening in the body, in the mind. Let's stay in the moment. Let's stay in the present, blossoming into balance this evening. So take another moment or two here. And then when you're ready to, if you've got something underneath your head, just release that off to the side. We'll use it in a moment if you're going to use it. Lengthen your body out really long and get tall. Keep your eyes closed just for another moment. Stretch yourself out, have a bit of a wriggle, have a bit of a wiggle. Notice how you're feeling. And then bring your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shins and start to take a few rocks, bounces, rolls. Left side, right side, little wiggle. Then come to stillness, big inhale. As you exhale, lift your nose right up towards your knees, hug yourself into a tight little ball. And then if your eyes are still closed, gently let them flutter open as you squeeze yourself in a little bit deeper. One more breath here, and then as you exhale, release the body and meet me once again, soles of the feet on the floor, arms alongside of the body, knees bent, pointing up towards the ceiling. And then see if you can walk your heels a little closer towards your bum, so maybe you can just gently touch them with your fingertips. Reaching through your hands and through your feet, squeeze your bum, squeeze your belly, inhale, lift your hips nice and high to the sky. So you're rolling up into a little bridge pose. Oh, I can feel my glutes really sore, really hurting already. And then just take a few pulses. You want to squeeze that bum at the top, reaching through your feet in parallel. So knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Try not to let your toes turn out here. So feet nicely parallel. And just a few more pulses. So that tone at the base of the belly, we're squeezing the bum to fire up the glutes. You know, the glutes are really going to help us this evening when we balance. We're going to do quite a lot of balancing on one leg. So weight bearing, so we really want those glutes and those hamstrings to be switched on and fired up. And then meet me at the top. If you have a block or a brick or that kind of thing, you're just going to take it to the base of your spine. So you might want to lift up a little bit higher so you can take it to the highest height. Otherwise, it's quite nice, a bit more restorative to take it to the medium height. I would suggest either highest height or medium height, because otherwise it's probably not going to feel like much. So just take a moment here to really breathe into your chest. The belly, of course, will still lift a little bit, but feel that space, feel that expansion. This should feel pretty good. You know, do whatever you'd like to with your arms. Always feels good to breathe deeply and breathe fully. And then if you're here with me, or maybe you're just holding yourself up in a bridge, lift those hips a little higher, take that block from underneath your back, and then just let that block come onto the side. Bring your knees into the chest and just take a few little rocks. One way, rocks the other way, and then a hand on each knee, knees hip distance, circle those knees round and round in opposite directions. So you want to draw these big circles, lubricating the hip joints, and then big circles the other way. Again, just getting into those hips. And then we're going to come to stillness here and extend both of the legs nice and high to the sky. So take a moment to point your toes and then flex your feet. Point your toes, flex your feet, and then circle those ankles one direction, circle those ankles the other direction. And then come to stillness here. Take your hands, just wriggle them underneath your bum. Get those legs as straight as you can. Toes pointed or feet flexed, doesn't matter either way. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, begin to lower the right leg down towards the floor, but don't let it drop all the way, just hover it. So inhale, squeeze that belly, inner thighs, you reach right leg up. Exhale, left leg. So try not to let the legs bounce as they lower down and as they come back up. So strong in the belly, strong in those legs, strong in your breath. And I am definitely feeling this tonight. Already. And then meet me at the top. Options stay with that. Or for 10 more, we're going to lower both legs down, bring them all the way up. So try not to let those legs bounce to the top. The lower you go, oh, and you can hear that struggle in my voice, the harder it is. So I think that's only 3. So we've got 7 more to go. So keep going. You can do this with your knees bent if you need to. Any kind of niggles in your lower back, don't come as low. Squeeze that belly and draw the pelvic floor muscles up and in. No tension in the jaw. I make that 6. But my maths could be out, so if you're already finished, good for you. Maybe come and join me for just a couple more. And then final 2. Oh, and this does feel really hard tonight. And then bring those legs all the way up. Oh, but now it feels so good to release. So just take a few more movements on your back. Just wiggle it out here. And then from here, we're going to take the hands to the backs of the thighs and start to rock and roll up and down the spine. So I'm sure a lot of you know how much I like a half boat. And that's exactly where we're headed. So don't let those feet touch the floor. And then meet me balancing, blossoming into that balance. So extend those arms out towards me. You point your toes or flex your feet, whichever works for you. And then find a Kali Mudra pistol grip. So spine is in length, pistols of peace. point forward. Take a breath in. As you exhale, take a twist to your right. So hold it here, lengthen your spine. Keep twisting to your right. Hold it here, lengthen your spine. Twist to the right. And then inhale, come all the way back through center. Exhale, take that twist to the left. So keep lengthening. And then keep twisting. Definitely got that shake. Keep lengthening and keep twisting. My whole lower body is so sore today. Really feeling it. And then come all the way back. Hold it here for 5. Straighten those legs for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. And again, it feels really good to come out of that. So meet me in an easy cross-legged seat when you're ready to, or just swing those legs out in front of you. Land your hands on your knees and circle it out with those hips and with those shoulders. Just have a good old wiggle here. That release after effort always feels so good. It's so energizing. And then circle the other way. And then bring yourself to center stillness here. Meet you on an inhale. Lift those arms nice and high to the sky. And then exhale, swing the hands behind the back and interlace your 10 fingers. Take a shrug and shoulder roll, breathe in. And then exhale, just gently draw the knuckles either towards the floor or the wall that's behind you. But relax those hips, relax those knees. So if they're starting to creep up, let your sit bones be heavy. And then we're going to take the interlace of our hands to the outside of the right hip, and then just squeeze that right elbow in as you drop the left ear over towards the left shoulder. So let the head relax, shoulders heavy. And then come all the way back through center. Inhale, shrug and shoulder roll, and then again exhale, gently draw those knuckles back. So this is a great way of counterbalancing all of that kind of hunchness that we often do when we spend a lot of time looking at a screen and working at a desk. And then taking interlace of hands to the outside of this left hip, we're going to squeeze that left elbow in, dropping right ear to the right shoulder. Again, keep those hips relaxed. And then come all the way back. Inhale, shrug and shoulder roll, open that chest. And then as you exhale, we're just going to round the back and bring the arms forward. Cross your wrists and just interlace your fingers. So just drawing the chin towards the chest, rounding your back. And then sit up and keep your arms in this position and just take a few little rolls one way and a few little rolls the other way. So you'll find that as your knuckles come to face towards me, it's quite a big wrist stretch. You just take it steady. Do that a couple more times. And then shake that out. Give your hands a bit of a wriggle and wiggle, and then come to meet me in all fours tabletop position. So as soon as you land in all fours, simply start to make some circles. So it's a really easy cat. Yes, wild cat movement. For a moment, I was like, what am I saying? What is this? This is a kind of wild cat. So shimmy it out here. And then change the direction whenever you're ready to. And if you do have blocks handy, you might just want to have them towards the top end of your mat so that when we come into some of our balances, that they're just handy. So our half splits, our Ardha Chandrasans, our revolved Ardha Chandrasans. And then land yourself in stillness or meet in a neutral all fours tabletop position. So from here, making sure the navel draws towards the spine. I've got a really baggy jumper on. I haven't quite warmed up enough yet, but my navel is drawing strongly towards the spine. We're going to extend the right leg back behind us, just tuck the toes to the floor for a moment so your hips stay level, and then take a few little pulses. So really spike back through that right heel. So we're blossoming into our balance this evening. When you're ready, right toes lift away from the floor and the left arm comes out in front of you. So body is in length here. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, we're going to bend the right knee and bend the left elbow. Take right knee out to the right and left elbow out to the left. Take another breath in, and then exhale, squeeze the knee and the elbow together. So inhale, aeroplane that knee and that leg out to the side, right and left. And then exhale, squeeze the two in. So blossoming into that balance, big breaths in. Doesn't matter if you wobble out of it, full breath out. A couple more times, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. And then squeeze the two together for 3, round your back, 2, 1, inhale, leg behind you, arm in front, and then point your right toes behind you, squeeze that right glute. Inhale, reach the arm and the leg a little bit higher. And then option stay here or bend that right knee, left hand swims behind, catch hold of the foot and then kick that foot to the sky. Open through your chest. Look up if you want to, keep squeezing the belly and squeezing that right glute. And then inhale, leg behind, arm in front. As you exhale, keep your right leg lifted. Left hand lands on the floor, left foot kicks back behind you as you now reach your right arm up in the air, but the right leg is still lifted here. So take a moment, and then right arm comes in line with the right ear. So blossoming into that balance. Take a breath in. Exhale, tap knee to elbow for 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold it. 1. So squeeze everything in. 3, 2, 1. Look forward, breath in, and then exhale. Step your right foot to the top end of your mat and take both of your hands to the big toe side of the right foot. So your right foot should be out pretty wide. Pop up to your fingertips and just make a few wiggly movements one way, a few wiggly movements the other way. And then land yourself in some kind of stillness. We're going to inhale, pull the hips back. Try and curl those right toes towards your face if you can, and then exhale, bend the knee. Put your hands on a block if you need to, if you need a little bit more height. And then meet me the next time your right knee is bent. Left hand lands on the floor. Inhale, open and reach that right arm nice and high to the sky. So you're opening out into a twist. And then reach those right fingertips back behind you. So you're kind of turning the palm to face the ceiling. Option stay here or take a big breath in. Right hand comes behind, left knee bends, and you catch hold of the left foot with the right hand. Oh, and my quadricep. Ha, really feeling that. So I am there with you if your left quadricep is really talking to you, speaking volumes, then I'm there with you. You might want to have a little bit of a pump of this leg. Keep breathing. Obviously, if it's painful, come out of it. This isn't painful for me. This is just like really juicy, like a really juicy stretch because my quads are super, super sore. Take another breath in. If you've got the foot, let it land to the floor. Right arm reaches high, and then set that right hand to the big toe side of the right foot once again. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Take another inhale here, and then step yourself into a high plank position. Hold your high plank for a moment, so squeeze the belly, squeeze the bum. One more inhale, and then as you exhale, drop the knees to the floor, shrug the shoulders over the wrists, and lower your whole body to the earth. Once you get down here, slide those forearms towards me and prop yourself up in little sphinx. Separate your feet about as wide as your mat, just so you can get a bit more space in your lower back. Maybe even give your hips a little tick-tock from side to side and the shoulders a wiggle. But then when you're ready to land yourself in stillness, firmly pressing through your elbows, your forearms, and you're lifting your chest. Keep that breath expansive. Big inhales and full exhales. One more breath here, and then exhale. Release your elbows, forehead to the floor. Let's take our hands wider than our mats now. Pop up to your fingertips so the elbows point to the ceiling, and then just bring those feet in a tiny touch to about hip distance. So inhale to roll up through the spine. It's a cobra variation. It could be high, it could be low. Exhale, roll and release all the way down. If you get cramp in your toes, just tuck your toes to the mat. Do it again. So big breath in, reach it high, and then full breath out, lower it down. From here, swim the hands behind the back and interlace your 10 fingers. Squeeze the heels of the hands together. Inhale, lift your chest and lift your arms away from the floor. You're probably not going to get a big lift, but that is fine. If you want a little more, you might lift a little bit higher and lift those legs up in the air. Wiggle those toes. Keep tucking that chin in. One more breath here. Exhale, release it down. And then meet me in an all fours tabletop position where we will simply roll through cat-cow. So as you breathe in, drop the belly, lift the heart and your gaze. And as you breathe out, round the back, chin to chest. So rolling inhales and rolling exhales. And then you're very welcome to stay with this, or if you want to add on, coming back into that wild cat or finding a bit of a hybrid movement, then do what you need to do, make some shapes. And then we're going to meet once again back in an all fours tabletop position. So find that neutral spine, activate the back muscles, so the posterior chain, activate your belly muscles, which is really going to help. And again, it looks like I've got a big belly here, but I am drawing my navel quite strongly towards my spine. Let's extend the left leg back behind us this time. So tuck those toes to the floor and take a few little bounces and pulses. So you're already spiking back through that heel, and then you're gently pulsing the shoulders forward. Come to stillness, left toes lift away from the floor. Make sure you're squeezing that left butt cheek, and your right arm comes in front. Take a big breath in, then as you exhale, cactus the elbow and cactus the knee. So elbow out to the right, knee out to the left. Big breath in, squeeze the two together. So inhale, aeroplane out, and then exhale, squeeze it in. Do that a couple more times. So blossoming into that balance. If you're feeling a little wobbly, I'm there with you. So don't worry about it, let go of any attachment, and then knee to elbow, hold it here for 3, round your back for 2, and for 1, inhale, arm in front, leg behind, and then option stay here or point those toes, lift the arm, lift the leg a little higher, breath in, stay with that, or bend left knee, right hand comes back behind you, and then you're going to kick that leg up. Inhale, leg behind, arm in front. Exhale, right hand comes down. Left leg stays lifted. Right toes kick back behind you as now you reach your left arm nice and high to the sky. So blossoming into that balance. Left arm comes in line with the left ear. Take a breath in. Tap elbow to knee for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it for 1, 3, 2, 1. Look forward. And then step that left foot forward. So your left foot wants to be out kind of wide-ish here, and you can turn the toes to a 10 o'clock position if you think about the face of the clock. Pop up to the fingertips or grab your block if you want to place your hands on it and just make a bit of movement to get into that hip. Again. And then meet me, stillness. Let's inhale, more of a linear movement back and forth here. So bending and straightening, an extension and a flex. And then we will meet, left knee bent, right hand on the floor, open up into a twist, left arm lifts nice and high, and then curl those fingertips behind you, open the palm to the ceiling, so you open the chest, either stay with that or bend into the back leg. Oh, it's even more juicy on this side. You might want to have a little bit of a pulse here. This shouldn't hurt. So I may have been doing some interesting facial expressions, but it doesn't hurt. It just feels like my muscles feel like I've used them, so they're kind of sore. But this is definitely going to work some magic, stretch. So again, if there's any pain, come out of it. And then if you've got the foot, let it land to the floor, left hand comes high all the way down to the ground. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, take a breath in, step it back, high plank position. Just hold your high plank for a moment so hips aren't here, bum isn't here, body is in alignment, squeeze that bum, take an inhale, this time through, let's all exhale, knees, shoulders right over the wrist, chest and the chin, so use those triceps to bend those elbows back. Meet me on an inhale, back bend, cobra, high or low, and then have a little wiggle and wriggle if that feels okay for your back. You know, rock and roll the head. Swing that ponytail around if you've got one. And then from here, take a big breath in. As you exhale, tuck your toes, use those strong belly muscles to lift your hips, and we're landing in our first down dog of our practice. So once you get here, make some shapes, make some movements. And if, like me, you've got a big jumper and socks on, use this as an opportunity to remove any layers that you might need to so that you can be as comfortable as possible, because we are going to start to flow. So make some wiggles, make some shapes in your downward facing dog, rooting through your hands and rooting through your feet. And then in your down dog, keep your hands shoulder distance, but now step your feet as wide as your mat. So you're coming into a really, really kind of wide legged downward facing dog. And then bend your knees deeply. Let that head be heavy. Take a big breath in and then exhale, release those heels down towards the floor. And then stepping the feet back to hip distance apart. We're going to inhale, ripple and roll the spine forward, come to a high plank position. Hold your high plank for a moment, and then from here, we're going to lift the right toes up off the floor and see if we can lift the left hand up off the floor. Not an easy one. Left hand comes down, right foot comes down. Same thing, opposite side. So left foot, right arm. It's always harder on one side. Embrace that shake. Take an inhale, right hand, left foot, big breath in. Let that effort go, downward facing dog. Again, take a little wiggle and wriggle here. And then from your downward facing dog, a great big breath in through your nose and just sigh it through an open mouth. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, begin to walk your feet forward towards your hands. Once you get towards the top end of your mat, let yourself drape and drop in a really loose and heavy forward fold. So have a shimmy, have a wiggle. And then release both of those arms down towards the floor. Have a final nod of your head, yes. A little shimmy and shake of your head, no. And then root through your feet. Let's inhale, sweep to reach to rise. 10 fingertips lift all the way up to the sky. And exhale, palms settle in a prayer position at the heart. So let's meet each other towards the top end of our mat. Feet together, feet apart is your mountain pose. Palms touching, shoulders softening and dropping down away from the ears. So let's flow, big breath in, reach it nice and high to the sky. As you exhale, dive your body down, release head to knee, belly towards your thighs. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, palms to the floor, step back with your right and then your left foot, find your high plank position. And from your high plank, blossom into that balance. Right foot and left hand lifts off the floor. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Palm down, foot down, big breath in. Your Vinyasa, I'm going to take knees, chest and chin. So use those triceps to bend your elbows back towards your body. Back bend as you inhale and then exhale into a downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, we'll step the feet together so the sides of the big toes touch. Inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. If you'd like to, bend that right knee and open up the hip. If the knee is bent and the hip is open, you're stacking right hip on top of the left hip, but your shoulders are level, square and strong. Make some circles with that right knee if you want to. A few times one way, a few times the other way. And then hip is open, big breath in, exhale, tap right knee to the left elbow, you twist. All the way to the sky, same thing again, right knee, left elbow, twist. All the way up, all the way to the twist. All the way up, and then right foot softly steps to the space between the hands, keep back knee off of the floor, and then rise. High lunge, crescent. Take a few pulses and bounces here. So again, pull my quads, yes, feeling it. If you need to come out of it or you need to step your back foot further forward, do what you need to do, but stay steady, stay strong. From here, take your palms to a prayer position at your heart. Start to lean your weight forward and slide those left toes a little bit further forward so you can lift that left leg up into the air behind you, and we're coming into a warrior 3. So one of our first standing balances. If you need to use the block, you need to use the block. Take it here for a moment. Take a breath in, soft bend to the front knee. Just gently tap your left toes to the floor. So we're going to inhale, straighten the right leg and lift that left leg all the way back up. Use your butt. Exhale, knee softly bend, left toes tap. So breathe in, lengthen, lift. Breathe out, a little tap. So breath and movement. Use that right glute, movement and breath. And then meet me the next time you're in your warrior 3. So right leg is straight and left leg is straight back behind you, hips are level. And then reach those arms nice and long, extended out in front of you. Take a breath here. As you exhale, bend into that left knee and squeeze and pull that left knee forward so that you're coming up to stand with that left knee squeezing in towards your chest. Just hold it here for a moment, squeeze it in, stand up nice and tall. Deep breaths in and 4 breaths out. From here, Vrikshasana tree pose. You're sending the sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh if you can. You're taking that left foot a little bit lower. Palms to a prayer position at the heart. So you're in your Vrikshasana, your tree pose. I'm sure you all know what that is. We're going to inhale, reach those arms nice and high to the sky. So blossoming into that balance. Holding it here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, arms come out nice and wide if you have the space. Resend that left leg back behind you, a bit like you're an aeroplane, you're back in a warrior 3. Take 1 more inhale and then exhale, step it back, high lunge crescent. Take 1 breath in here. As you exhale, lower and hover the left knee to the floor. Inhale, you're going to lift it up. Exhale, you're going to spring forward, warrior 3. Hold it for 1 more breath in. Exhale, step it back. Tap the back knee to the floor. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale, step yourself back. Plank. Hold it for an inhale. And then vinyasa of your choice, exhale. So breath in as you back bend, open heart. And full breath out as you come back to that downward facing dog. So take a little break. Take a little rest whenever you need to. Always feel free to drop the knees to the floor in a child's pose. If you are feeling tired, or if, like me, you've got sore muscles, then do take a child's pose when you need to. But when you're ready, let's join each other back in a downward facing dog. So rooting through the hands and the feet, making sure we're drawing the navel in strongly, and we're looking back either towards our toes or knees, or if you can, towards your navel. And then inhale, feet together, lift that left leg nice and high to the sky, level hips or bend the knee and open it up. But the hips are stacked, the shoulders are nice and square. Maybe make a few circles with that knee and that hip one way and the other way. And then come to stillness, hip is open. If it's open, breath in, tap left knee, right elbow, a little twist, all the way to the sky and all the way to that twist. All the way to the sky, final twist. Reach it up and then step the foot forward as soon as you're ready to rise. Whew. And if you need a few bounces and pulses, because you feel like your front leg might seize up, which is exactly what's happening to me right now, then do so. And then we'll come to some kind of stillness. So you can keep your hands here if you want to. Take your hands to a prayer position at the heart. We're going to lean the weight forward and just slide those right toes a little further forward, so it's a little easier to lift that right leg up into the air behind you. So you can put your hands on blocks if you need to. Just hold it here for a moment. Take a big breath in, then exhale, a little bend to the left knee, tap those right toes to the floor. So use that left glute as you lift up and use that left glute as you tap down. So big breaths in. Use those blocks if you need to, 4 breaths out. And then meet me the next time you're in a warrior 3. Extend those arms out in front of you if you can. Hold it here for 3, 2, and then 1. And then start to bring this right knee forward. And that's the killer for the left leg as that right knee comes forward. Squeeze the right shin in and stand up tall. Take a moment here. So blossoming into that balance. And then we're coming to our Vrikshasana, so our tree pose. So the sole of the right foot is either coming up high to the inner left thigh, or it's coming down a little lower, above or below the knee joint, not on top or to the side of it. So hands to prayer. Inhale, blossom into that balance. Soften the shoulders for 3, for 2, and for 1. And then let your arms come out nice and wide. From here, we're going to extend that right leg back behind us, holding it back in our warrior 3. Take a big breath in and then step it back, crescent lunge. As you do so, lower, maybe tap the right knee to the floor. We're going to inhale, lift it up. Finding my back. I'm not sure how much I'm blossoming into my balance tonight. Take it forward, 1 more breath in, and then stepping it back, bending into the right knee. Coming back up, crescent, breath here, exhale, straight through a vinyasa. So knees, chest, chin, or a hover hold. Big breath to your back bend, and full breath to your downward facing dog. And then from our downward facing dog, let's take a little detour by dropping the knees, bum to heels, forehead heavy. Halfway through the practice, just let your body rest in a child's pose. So let the weight of your body surrender to the earth here. And again, not worrying if you can't do a posture or you fall out of it, or if you're a little bit wobbly. Balance is always different on different days. But just think about blossoming into that balance. So letting go of any expectation of yourself or your practice and just being in the moment. And remember, if you want to use those books or blocks or bricks, then just have them handy towards the front end of your mat. But otherwise, when you're ready, we're going to meet back in a downward facing dog. So meet me there when you're ready. We're going to hold it for one deep breath in through the nose and a full sigh through an open mouth. Breathing in. Take an inhale and then exhale, look forward, step, fly, or float your feet to the front end of your mat. Drape and drop when you get there. And then inhale, find your halfway lift, hands to shins or fingertips just in front of the toes. Exhale, slide the hands down the backs of the legs. Take a little bend to the knees and just hug yourself in nice and tightly. And then inhale, bend your knees nice and deeply. Now the arms are coming in line with the ears and we're coming to an Utkatasana chair pose. So hold it here for a moment. So feel that weight coming back towards your heels and then take a few very small little pulses and bounces. So it's a very minimal movement. Shoulders are soft. Tone in the belly. Fire in the glutes, I expect. Definitely for me. And then hold in stillness. From here, lift the chest up a little bit. Pop up to your tippy toes and just blossom into that balance for a moment. Maybe take those arms out to the side. And then arms reach in line with the ears. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, can you lower bum towards your heels? Palms come to a prayer position at your heart. And then arms reach back in line with your ears. Strong butt, strong belly. We're coming all the way back up. Utkatasana on the tippy toes, chair pose. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale. Forward fold, let that effort go. Have a wiggle, have a little shimmy. Inhale, slide the hands to the shins. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, step back, left foot, step back, right foot, knees, chest, chin, or a hover hold. Big breath into your back bend. And full breath out into a downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's step the feet together once again to the sides of the big toes touch. Inhale, right leg lifts. Nice level hips this time. As you exhale, tap the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. So same to same. Inhale, lift it nice and high. Exhale, same to same. Inhale, lift it high. Final time, exhale, same to same. Then hold it here. See if you can rest that right knee on the right upper arm. Begin to bend into your left elbow. Start to shift your weight forward. Lean forward, straighten that right leg, and then see if you can lift that left leg up into the air. Just a quick little balance there. And then inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. That felt like a challenge for me tonight. Exhale, bend that right knee. Step that foot forward to the space between the hands. Pivot and spin the back foot flat. Warrior two. So take a moment here. Just soften, have a little bit of a pulse, have a little bit of a bounce. And then ease yourself to sense stillness. So I just threw that in for a bit of fun. I actually really struggled with that because my whole body is very, very sore, as I keep saying. And yeah, that felt super hard. From here, flip the front palm, reach it forward, inhale, and then simply reverse it. Again, maybe you want to have a little bit of a bounce and a pulse here. So we're going to move into our Ardha Chandrasana very soon, so our half moon pose. So if you do want to use a block, then make sure it's towards the front end of your mat, the top end of your mat, so you can place that right hand on it, and then we'll move into our reversed or revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Meet me in stillness now. Inhale, arms to a level T. Reach the right hand forward, right hand big toe side of right foot, left arm to the sky, and then bring that left arm in line with the left ear. And then take that left hand to your left hip. Look down at the floor. Move this right hand to the little toe side of the right foot and walk that right hand about 6 inches forward. From here, start to slide those left toes towards the top end of your mat. As you pick that left leg up into the air, straightening that right leg and bringing that left arm in line with the left ear. And then if you want a little bit more juice, you could softly bend into the right knee and reach, depending on how much balance you've got tonight, that right arm out in front of you. So squeeze the belly, squeeze the bum. Take a big inhale as you exhale. Both hands land on the floor. Now square your hips. So from that left hip being open, we're now squaring it. So the hips point forward towards the front end of the mat. Either stay with this or walk your hands back towards that standing leg. Maybe take your right hand to the outside of the right ankle. But want to keep the hips nice and level. So try not to overly open up the hip. Keep the hips nice and level. And just squeeze your forehead towards your shin. And then walking those hands out in front of you once again, making sure the hips stay level. This time the left hand stays on the floor as we inhale, revolve and open that right arm to the sky. Take a moment here, big breath in, and then exhale, retake your hands to a prayer position at your heart. Come to a warrior three for a moment, take a big breath in, and then exhale, step yourself back, move through a vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or a hover hold, back bend, downward facing dog. So take a little break, take a little rest in between if you need it. And have something handy to put your hands on if you need that as well, if you need a bit of a support. Because that's what those props are there for, and they can often help get us a little bit deeper into the pose. So when you're ready, we're all going to meet back in a downward facing dog. We'll step our feet closer towards each other, so sides of big toes touch. Inhale, left leg lifts, level hips this time. Take an inhale, exhale, left knee taps left, elbow same to same, all the way up and all the way in. So actually, it isn't just my lower body that hurts, it's all of my body. So bring that left knee in, see if you can just balance it on the left tricep for a moment, and then start to lean your weight forward, bend into this right elbow, and then can you straighten that left leg as you shift your weight forward, maybe picking up that right leg, it's not an easy one, and then coming all the way back into a down dog, three-legged dog, left leg lifted, big breath in, step left foot forward, warrior two, back foot flat, arms to T. Let that effort go. Again, blossoming into our balance this evening. And then when you're ready, land yourself in center stillness. So looking forward, middle fingertip of the left hand, flip the front palm, reach it, and then reverse it. And again, have a few little pulses here. And even this is feeling very, very extreme for my thigh. And then come back to stillness, arms to a T, reach the left hand forward, left hand left inside of the big toe side of the foot, right arm to the sky. And then maybe the right arm comes in line with the right ear. So, if you are going to use your block, you're taking about 6 to 12 inches little toe side of that left foot. So now let's take right hand, right hip. You're bringing your left hand to the little toe side of the left foot. You can walk your hand onto that block, and then you can start to slide that right leg towards your body. So you can change the position of this block if you need to, reaching that right arm high to the sky, curling those right toes towards your face. So stacking the hips, squeezing the inner thigh, taking big breaths in, full breaths out. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, release the hands down to the floor. So now your hips will be nice and square. But again, try not to open the hips because we want those hips to be square. Draw the navel towards the spine. Perhaps walking the hands back towards that standing foot, so that left leg. Maybe left hand comes to the left ankle. Maybe squeezing your forehead towards your shin. My forehead is very far away from my shin this evening. And then lengthen up, fingertips come in front of you. So lengthen the spine, keep that right leg lifted. Right hand stays where it is, left hand, left hip, and then revolve that left shoulder open to the ceiling as you lift your left arm up. Remember, you can have a block underneath the right hand if you need to. Take a big breath in. Come back through a warrior three, hands to prayer position at your heart. Open that chest, squeeze that left glute. Big inhale. Move through vinyasa as you exhale. So big breath, back bend, full breath, downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, drop those knees to the floor, take your bum to your heels. And again, just let yourself rest. Child's pose, just let the weight of your body go. And then from your child's pose, we're just going to bring ourselves up to all fours and just walk ourselves towards the back end of our mat, making sure we've got that tone in the belly and the hips lining up with the knees. Slide your hands as far forward as you can. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, release the chest, maybe the forehead, the chin down towards the floor. So make sure you're pulling your tummy in strongly and you're drawing the rib cage in. So although we're trying to relax into this, we're not just kind of letting everything flop and drop. And then lift your gaze, look forward and begin to slide yourself down onto your tum. And we're going to meet back in that little Sphinx pose. So if you want to have a little wiggle of your shoulders and hips, go for it. And then from here, we're going to tuck the toes to the mat, take a big breath in. Make sure we're pulling the tummy in strongly. Option 1, lift the hips. Option 2, with me if you can, lift those knees. So you're in a forearm plank. Shoulders are over the elbows. Crown of the head is reaching forward. And then from here, bring your left fingertips towards your right elbow. And we're going to roll and pivot the little toe side of the left foot, lifting the right arm up high. And then maybe you can lift that right leg up. So lifting the hips and lifting your waist away from the floor. Maybe right arm comes in line with the right ear. Take a breath in, exhale, squeeze knee to elbow. Inhale, extend, squeeze knee to elbow, extend, knee to elbow, extend, knee to elbow, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then coming all the way back down onto our forearms. Take one more inhale and then exhale. Sphinx. We're resting for a moment. Well, not really resting, but we are. We're going to do that on the other side, and then we are going to start to wind things down. But blossoming into the balance in our side plank. So from here, tucking those toes, make sure you've got the tone in the belly. So if when you come into your forearm plank, you feel like strain in your back, you don't want to be feeling strain in your back. So just keep the knees on the floor. But if you can really pull that tummy in and engage the pelvic floor muscles, that's really going to help. If you feel the strain in your back, then just keep your knees down. So coming with me, if you want to, knees up off the floor. And then right fingertips, left elbow. We're pivoting and spinning to the little toe side of the right foot, lifting that left arm high. And then maybe lifting that left leg up. Left arm in line with the left ear. Take a breath in, knee to elbow 1. Extend, knee to elbow 2, extend, knee to elbow 3, extend, 4, extend, squeeze it in for 5, and then extend, coming all the way back down to your forearm plank. Take a big breath in, and then come to a child's pose. So let the knees drop down. Send the bum to your heels and just let yourself go. And then from your child's pose, there's nothing fancy about this. We're just going to do a little yogi roll and come down onto our backs. So come down onto your back and just take a moment here to kind of just chill out for a moment. Maybe even bring the soles of feet together, knees apart if that feels quite nice. And then knees point up towards the ceiling, heels quite close towards your bum, arms lengthen alongside of the body. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the belly. Inhale, lift those hips to the sky. So roll up into a bridge. When you get to the top, if you want to walk your hands towards each other and tuck those shoulders underneath, feel free to go for it. So squeeze the belly, squeeze the bum. And then pull the right knee in towards the chest if you can and lift that right leg to the sky. So we're blossoming into that balance. And then right knee comes in, foot lands on the floor, lift those hips a little higher. Same thing, left knee squeezes, left leg extends up. And then knee towards the chest. Both feet on the floor, lift those hips a little higher, maybe pop up to the tippy toes. Take a big breath in and then exhale, roll and release down. From here, just tick-tock those knees from side to side to give them a real release. Maybe even take your arms back behind your head if that feels good. And then from here, squeeze those knees in, take a pulse, take a little bounce, take a rock from side to side. And then roll yourself or rock yourself all the way upright. When you get here, join the soles of your feet together and let your knees come apart. Take a little bit of a bounce here. So your diamond shape can be a really narrow, tight diamond, or it can be quite wide, depending on what works for you. And then come to stillness, take a big breath in, lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, let your elbows bend to the outside of your shins and just bring yourself ever so slightly forward. So don't worry about how far down you're getting, think about moving forward. And you might only move an inch, like me, and that is perfect. So we're starting to wind our practice down now, so less effort and less exertion. Can we slow that breath down even more? And then slowly coming all the way back up. From here, we're going to keep the right leg where it is and just lengthen that left leg to a slight angle off to the side. You can pull this right sole of the foot right against that left leg if you want to, or you can just leave it slightly apart. Doesn't matter either way. We're sitting up tall. We're curling those left toes towards the face. And then we're inhaling to reach both of those arms up nice and high. As you exhale, slide this left hand down the left thigh. You might be able to flip your grip to take hold of the little toe side of this left foot, and then just bringing yourself into a side bend. So if you've got the flexibility, then you can reach towards that left big toe if you want to. I'm staying here tonight. This is a perfect place for me to be. So this is a big release, this part of the body, which is so important to release, particularly if we do spend a lot of time sitting down. And then let's inhale to rise. And as we exhale, we're going to take a twist. So we're bringing this left hand to the right knee and taking the right hand behind the back. And then options stay with that, or if you want to lift this left arm and align with the left ear up to the sky, right hand settles to the floor behind you, and then lift those hips, so opening through the chest. Balancing on one shin and on one hand, so blossoming into that balance. Take a big breath in, then exhale, lower down. Then from here, we're just going to turn the torso to the left and reach those arms forward towards that left leg. And then breathe in, reach those arms high, breathe out, hands behind you, and then take your legs out nice and wide if you're comfortable to do so. So you're in a kind of straddle position. It doesn't have to be super wide. If you've got a block or some props handy, because in a moment we're going to come forward, sometimes it's quite nice to rest forehead down, or even just push this a little bit kind of close towards your belly so you've got a bit of support. So you can point your toes if you prefer, or just flex those feet, whatever works for you. So we'll take a big breath in, fingertips out in front of us. We're sitting up really, really tall here. There's loads of length in the spine. And then as we exhale, let's walk those hands forward and let's release down. And like I've said several times, I have got such sore muscles. This feels like a really good stretch, but yeah. It's quite intense. So don't come so low if it doesn't feel good. You know, you can just be quite chill. That feels pretty good, actually. And if you want to, you can just let your feet relax completely. If it's more pleasant to just be a bit more floppy. And you know, for the final couple of moments, you might want to come a little deeper. And then we'll slowly walk the hands back towards the body and just bring those legs in a little bit. So now we're going to bend into this left leg. And again, you can have the sole of the foot quite close towards your right thigh, up to you, but curl those toes, relax the knee and the hip for a moment. And then let's breathe in, reach those arms nice and high. And as you exhale, taking this right hand down the right leg, again, you might flip your grip And then you're coming over into your side bend. So keep relaxing this knee, that left knee, onto the floor, opening through the chest. So try not to collapse here. Think about expanding. Catching hold of the foot is not important. So you might be here, you might be here. Just try and find a bit of release in this section of your body. And it might feel quite intense and quite extreme because this part of the body tends to get really tight when we sit down a lot. And then let's slowly rise, breath in, then exhale, take your twist to the left as you breathe out. So right hand comes to the left knee and left hand comes behind your back. And stay with that, or plant the left hand to the floor, right arm up in line with the right ear, lift those hips. Should feel good. Open the chest, the upper body. Take one more inhale and then lower the bum down towards the floor. Take that little turn to your right and then reach towards that right foot. You may or may not catch it, and it doesn't matter either way. So just giving the hamstring a little bit of a release here. And then come all the way back up. Take the hands behind the back. Just take those legs nice and wide again for a moment. And then we're going to rejoin the soles of the feet together, knees apart. Sitting up nice and tall, giving those knees a little bit of a bounce. And then from here, if you can, catch hold of the big toes with your peace fingers. Lean your weight back, lift those heels up off the floor. So use that strong core, lift those shins parallel to the ceiling. Extend one leg out, bring it in. Extend the other leg out, bring it in. Ping, both legs out, lifting that chest. And then can you let those feet go as you take a Kali Mudra pistol grip, shoot those pistols of peace forward towards me, wiggle those toes. And then you're catching hold of those toes once again. You're bringing the knees, the legs together. Point those toes to the ceiling. Lengthen your arms towards me. Let's balance on our sit bones for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let that go. Squeeze the knees into the chest. Give yourself a great big hug. And then from here, we're just going to make our way onto our back. So come onto your back, and once you get down here, have a roll, have a wriggle, have a little bounce and a release. And then meet me, shins parallel to the ceiling, knees hovering above the hips, arms in a great big T shape if you have the space either side of you. Take a breath in, exhale, drop the knees to the right as you look towards your left hand. So letting go of any effort. Any force. And then bring those knees all the way up. Inhale and drop those knees off to the left as you exhale. You might want to turn to look towards your right hand. Totally up to you. And then bring those knees back in, squeeze your knees in towards your chest. So give yourself a great big hug. Take a big breath in. And on the exhale, lifting your nose up towards your knees, maybe catching hold of the little toe side edges of the feet, squeezing yourself in even tighter. Take a big breath in. And exhale, release your breath, release your body. Let's set ourselves up for our Savasana. So do add any layers that you might need to. Body temperature does drop pretty quickly, so make any adjustments that you need to. Add your socks, add your layers, get nice and snug and comfy and cozy on this damp Tuesday evening. So get comfy, get cozy, let yourself settle into your rest, into your Savasana, letting the weight of your body find the floor, eyes closing, all of the muscles in your face and your body relaxing, and allowing yourself to settle and to sink into this rest, rest, rest. And beginning to deepen your breath and lengthen your breath once again. Tapping into the sound and feel the quality of every inhale rolling in like a wave, and every exhale rolling back out like a wave. So let your breath guide, release and relaxation, that presence of mind, that attention and awareness. Let that breath bring space, expansion, new life and energy. And let the breath balance. And so when you're ready, wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes, your wrists and your ankles. You might like to stretch, reach, yawn, wriggle, shuffle. Make any movement that feels good to you. And then bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a great big squeeze, a great big hug. And in your own time, slowly bring yourself to an easy and comfortable seat where we'll end our practice this evening. So landing in seated, maybe having a little bit of a shimmy of the shoulders, a wiggle of the head and the neck, the hips. And then landing in stillness, lengthening the spine, lifting the chest. Taking the palms together, Anjali at the heart, an offering of gratitude. So take a moment to offer gratitude to yourself, to a loved one, to a stranger. And then lift that gratitude, heart to your thumbs, and take a gentle bow, forehead to fingertips. That gratitude, namaste. So thank you so much, as always, for rolling out your mats and coming to practice. Hope you enjoyed the class. Definitely felt that in pretty much my whole body this evening, so I struggled at various points. But yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say then. My mind went blank. But anyway, have a lovely evening. Have a lovely evening meal. A nice walk if you're going for a walk, anything like that. And I'll see you soon, maybe tomorrow morning. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you, Clara. Bye.